Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be giving my predictions for Week 8 Premier League fixtures. And what a set of week 7 games we just had. We had the pinnacle of Premier League football, Liverpool versus Manchester City, the clash of titans, the clash of the two best sides in England, and it ended 2-2. We saw Man United rotate their squad against Everton and drop points. We even saw Spurs bounce back against Aston Villa, a very good Aston Villa side which just beat Man United the week before. So this Premier League is shaping to be unpredictable, and we don't even know what's going to happen on a week-by-week basis. And we got some exciting fixtures coming this weekend. We got Brentford versus Chelsea, and we know when Brentford has a big team coming to town, they always step up, like against Arsenal and Liverpool. We have some other exciting games, Leicester versus Man United as well. Two top 6 sides clashing. We have Liverpool versus Watford, Ranieri's first game. But before going into this video and give my predictions, make sure you guys like, comment, and hit that big subscribe button right there. And make sure you guys, yes you give me your own predictions in the comment section. Who's going to win? So the first game I'm going to be talking about is Leicester versus Manchester United. And both teams are in dire need of these 3 points. Both teams have been inconsistent throughout the whole of the season this year. We saw Leicester drop points against Crystal Palace. We saw Leicester drop points as well against other teams like Burnley as well, when you expect them to win at home. And we saw Man United drop points against Everton and lose to Aston Villa in the last 2 games. So the first team I'm going to be talking about is Manchester United. And surprise, surprise, they drew to Everton. And you know what I'm going to say, in patches at the beginning of the game, they had the intensity, they had the energy, they had the desire to get to the ball, press the ball, and they absolutely dominated Everton. But when the game went on and on, they started to pass sideways with Fred and McTominay in the midfield, and Bruno Fernandes looked like he was overcompensating for their poor passes by looking for the extravagant ball over the top every single time, losing the ball. So yeah, typical Manchester United, all that pressure on Bruno Fernandes. I'm Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I don't know why he rested his players, I don't know why he rotated with Pogba and Ronaldo on the bench, acting like you have a Champions League final the next day. He literally had an international break coming out, so those players could have rested during the international break. So like I said, Man United are actually going to have to start picking up form against Leicester City, because in the next few games, it's going to make or break their season. They got Liverpool coming up, they got Manchester City coming up, they got some big European games coming up, seeing if they can qualify for the last round of 16. So they're going to have no excuses. They need to start playing better, but not all in gloom is at Manchester United right now, considering the fact that they're still 30 games undefeated away from home. And we know people were questioning it, just like me. Oh, there's no away fans, that's why they were much more comfortable, that's why they were able to ease into games with no hostile crowds. But it looks like this season they're doing the exact same thing as the last season. They're still undefeated, so it's going to be hard for me to predict they're going to lose at King Power Stadium, when we know away from home they have an absolutely superb record. Like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer loves doing all the time, playing McFred, this is the perfect game to play them, have that solid foundational base in defensively, and literally counter-attack Leicester with pace like they did last season. Leicester have the wholeness because they're at home, obviously a very good side. They have creative players like Tielemans, etc, to try to control the game. So Manchester United should break on them when they have the opportunity to try score goals. And it's undeniable, Manchester United have the players, they have the world-class players to perform in moments of games that Ronaldo has in the past, like Bruno Fernandes and Pogba have done in the past, one game single-handedly. So even if it's not looking like it's going well, even if they go 1-0 down at half-time like they like doing in games away from home, we've seen countless times in the past, they always step up and pick up results when they truly need it. So I think Man United aren't going to lose to Leicester. I think Manchester United will scrape the win 2-1. Someone's going to do something magical in the dying numbers of the game to save Manchester United the 3 points. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Brentford versus Chelsea. And let me start with the European champions Chelsea. They needed that result against Southampton at home. Although they weren't spectacular in the second half, they were amazing in the first half. But it looked like when Southampton got that goal, it looked like Southampton were the only team in that game and they should have won it. I can't lie. Chelsea were cool, calculated, collective, and they were cold-blooded, getting the job done against Southampton with 10 men, scoring 2 goals to win them the game in the second half. And although people are saying, oh yes, only Southampton, of course you're going to win when they're down to 10 men. I've seen teams like Liverpool this season mismanage games in good areas of the game when they're winning, and they drop points. We saw it against Man City, and we also saw it against Bournemouth. So Chelsea deserve the credit for the fact that they're picking up points, although they're not playing well. But they have had some stand-up performances in that game. Loftus-Cheek, a revelation. He looked absolutely composed on the ball. He had the strength, he had the drive, getting the ball into the midfield, sprinting forward. He was amazing that game. Also, other players were good. Werner getting the goal as well. Surely that will give his confidence a boost going into the next few fixtures. Chelsea can't keep relying on Lukaku to get all the goals because we know they don't have the goal-scoring midfielders like Man City and Manchester United have. So they need to find other aspects of how they're going to score goals. And getting Werner into form is going to be crucial. But let me go into this game against Brentford, right? Because we've seen Brentford this season already against the top 6 sides at home, against Arsenal, against Liverpool. They are tough out. It's hard to put them away because they have the crowd, they have the players, they have the manager who still believe that they are able to get the 3 points. Chelsea can't underestimate them, or otherwise they will lose just like Arsenal did, or they'll even draw just like Liverpool did. You can't underestimate them. You must show them appropriate fear, otherwise you might lose the game. But out of all the top 6 sides, I feel like Chelsea are most equipped to deal with Brentford. We know Brentford like to play direct sometimes to Ivan Toney, even the long throw ones into the box, making it hard for the goalkeeper to deal with. But I feel like Chelsea have the mental toughness to go to away from home sides, just like we saw at Anfield, with 10 men getting a point, just like we saw against their arch nemesis Tottenham, getting the 3 points at White Hart Lane easily. So I don't expect them to be mentally fragile going into this game against Brentford. They know how to deal with hostile environments. Also, they have the players who have the strength, the build, to deal with the long ball threat. Mendy, I feel like the most commanding goalkeeper in the Premier League when it comes to clearing out his lines or even catching the ball and soaking the pressure for his teammates. I feel like Thiago Silva, strong. Rudiger, absolute beast in the air. I feel like he'll be able to deal with Ivan Toney if he plays up against him. Even Loftus-Cheek is like 6 foot plus, played well this season so far. Even against Man City, he had a good game. So I feel like Chelsea are well equipped to literally deal with Brentford's threat. And in all sectors of the pitch, I feel like Chelsea do have the advantage because obviously they have the superior players and they will win all their individual duels if they play up to scratch. So in terms of this game, I'm predicting a Chelsea win. I feel like the first 20 minutes will be difficult, will be hard, and they will have to adjust in this game. But overall, I feel like Chelsea will be able to win, and I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory for Chelsea against Brentford away from home. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. And let me just start with Arsenal. Yes, it was an ugly game. Yes, it was abysmal. Yes, the weather was dreadful against Brighton. But they still should have put up a stronger fight against Brighton to try win the game. I know there's positives. Ben White showed that he can deal with the aerial bombardment of those Brighton defenders and those Brighton attackers, literally outmuscling them, winning good headers, clearing his lines for his teammates so they can regather themselves for other attacks. I feel like other players had good performances as well during that game. Gabriel was also tremendous. Ramsdale dealing with the 6'7", 8 defenders of Brighton when they went up for corners. I feel like he did an amazing job. But other than that, Arsenal going forward, they had no creativity, lacked purpose, lacked ambition to actually stretch the game and take the game to Brighton, considering the fact that obviously they're the bigger club. I know Brighton are at home, but I expected Arsenal to put up much a bigger fight, especially in the midfield, where it looked like Partey was sloppy and Lokonga didn't feel the boots of Xhaka, which Xhaka played amazing against Tottenham. So it'll be interesting to see what Arteta does. Is he going to rotate his lineup? Because obviously there's a lot of Arsenal fans, and even I said that that's their best starting lineup. I don't know who's going to come in for who. I don't know if Martinelli or Pepe is going to come in. But I feel like he should stick with the lineup against Crystal Palace because that should just be seen as a blip because of the weather, the conditions. And we've seen in the last 3 or 4 games or so, playing the majority of that starting lineup they've been doing, they have been getting results. So Arsenal should not still be too hard on themselves because they got 3 wins and 1 draw. And if you ask any Arsenal fan when on a 3-game losing streak, if they would have taken that, of course they would. So in terms of this game against Crystal Palace, it's a fresh slate. International break just happened, so got time to mentally rest and physically attack this game with no European football to be thinking about in the next few weeks or so. Although Arsenal are home, they shouldn't underestimate Crystal Palace. I've watched them quite a bit this year against Tottenham, against Liverpool, even against Leicester. And I feel like going forward, they're actually quite dangerous. Vieira's getting the backing of the fans. You see them chanting, this is Vieira's clapping army. They're excited with the attacking football they're playing high press, trying to win the ball in good areas to try and start attacks nearer to the opposition's goal and getting good opportunities. Even transitioning the ball through the midfield. Gallagher's playing tremendous. That number 8 box to box. Zaha, Edouard looks like a good signing as well, scoring goals this season. So let's see how Crystal Palace go against Arsenal. If Arsenal are lethargic, if Arsenal are a little lackadaisical and think it's going to be an easy win, they're going to be in for trouble. Because I'm telling you, if Liverpool play the same way against Crystal Palace, like I saw, we may have lost. I know we won 3-0, but throughout the whole game, Crystal Palace did look like a threat. So in terms of this game, I don't know what to predict because obviously Arsenal did win last 3 games out of 4. But I don't know which Arsenal side really is the real Arsenal side. Is it the side which won the 3 games, or is it the side which just drew to Brighton and the side which lost the first 3 games? I don't know their real identity. The real identity might be the side which just finished back-to-back 8th places in the last 2 years. So I'm going to stay on the fence, and I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw at the Emirates. I don't think Arsenal will have enough to win this game. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, Crystal Palace and Arsenal at the Emirates. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Manchester City at Burnley at the Etihad. And let me give Man City their dues. Let me give Man City the credit that how they played against Liverpool. I feel like it was an absolutely extraordinary performance against Liverpool. They did everything I told them to do in my predictions video. I told them in the first 20 minutes, suck the life out of the game, make sure the Anfield fans can't get into it, and give the Liverpool fans that extra 10 to 20% to press the ball and try to win the ball in good areas and try to score. I said to compose themselves, get a rhythm of passing going, and when the first 20 minutes are done, ease into the game and try to attack Liverpool on the front foot and get those Liverpool fans unsettled. And it worked like a treat. And although they drew, look what they drew to. A world-class Salah goal, which I don't know if any defenders in the world would have stopped when he's in that sort of form. Also, Liverpool should have had a red card with James Milner having his second yellow card. So Man City should have won the game, and even on the balance of probabilities, if you're comparing both teams' performances, Man City edged it to me because I feel like they dominated Liverpool in the first half. And although Man City still don't have a striker, I feel like they should be so satisfied in their last 2 Premier League games of how they played, getting 3 points at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea, the European champions, and collecting a point at Anfield, 4 out of 6 away from home in their last 2 Premier League games. But this game against Burnley is going to be completely different. We know how Burnley love to shape up their side. We know with their typical 4-4-2 Sean Dyche system, stay compact, tight, provide long balls into Chris Wood up front, see if Ashley Barnes or whoever's up front with him can win the knockdowns and get the ball in good areas. But I feel like Man City are going to wear this Burnley side down like they always do. Look at the last 3 or 4 results they've played Burnley. They've destroyed them 5-0 on every occasion. So why should I predict anything different when this is the standard? When this is a yearly ritual for Man City to absolutely destroy them? They're going to wear them down with their passing. And even if Burnley in the first 30-35 minutes do keep a clean sheet, it's just going to be difficult. One lapse of concentration is going to open the floodgates for Man City to score many goals against this Burnley side. And when Burnley do go behind 1-0, I just don't see them how they're going to get back into this game. They're going to have to come out of their compact shape, and there's going to be even more space for the great Man City midfielders like Bernardo Silva, Grealish, Foden and Kevin De Bruyne to do their magic and score more goals. When the first one goes in, it's going to be an avalanche of goals like it usually is against Burnley at the Etihad. So I'm going to go for a 5-0 victory for Man City at the Etihad. So the next game I'm going to be talking about is Watford versus Liverpool. And let me start off with Liverpool. I know I said Man City deserved to win, but if Liverpool took the lead twice against Man City, you would have expected them to see the result through. And I've been saying this all season. Liverpool have been mismanaging victories all year. Against Brentford, took the lead twice against the newly promoted side and couldn't seal the deal. Even against Chelsea, who had 10 men at Anfield, they couldn't even score another goal to seal the victory. So I don't know if they're going to go ahead against Watford and concede another goal and literally drop points yet again. I don't know with this Liverpool side. But what I do know is Mohamed Salah is playing like he's the best player in the Premier League. What an extraordinary goal against Man City. One of the world's best defenders. Literally just went through them as if they weren't even there. Right footed into the corner. Right footed against Ederson. One of the best goalkeepers in the world of football. Absolutely extraordinary. And going forward, Liverpool have been amazing, scoring 10 goals in their last 3 games, if you're including the game against Porto. Mane and Salah, the combination is there again, unlike it was last season, where Mane was absolutely dreadful in front of goal, but it looks like he has his shooting boots back. This game against Watford, I feel like we're going to win this game. I think it's going to be fairly comfortable. Ranieri, the new manager of Watford, the Tinkerman, is going to take some time for him to embed his new ideas to this Watford side and to adapt to his new system. But come on, Liverpool have been doing this for 5 or 6 years or so under Jurgen Klopp. It's not going to be any different. They know what they're doing. They're well-oiled machine in that department with their philosophy. With Trent looking to come back, Salah, Mane, goal-scoring form, I can only see one winner at Watford Stadium, Vicarage Road. So I'm going to go for a 3-0 victory for Liverpool.